Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Tips and Trips. Today we are in Clarksville, Tennessee, and we made an overnight stop here at a park called Clarksville RV Park. So it's a convenient on and off situation, but we made the stop. We got 400 miles in yesterday, and we stopped at this RV park, which is right off of I-24. And matter of fact, you can hear the interstate in the background there. So we drove quite a few hours yesterday. Like I said, we got 400 miles in, so that was good. Our next stop, we're actually going to stop at Babler State Park in Missouri, and we're going to lay over for 2 days. This way we get to rest a little bit and get to visit one of Kathy's relatives, her sister, who lives in St. Charles, Missouri. So word about this park, I mean, it's not a bad looking park. Swimming pool is closed, so that kind of stuff. I guess we're going to find that as we go north. The swimming pools are going to be closed now for the season after Labor Day. All right, so this park was a little pricey, let me tell you. It ended up being, it's a pull-through site with 50 amps. It ended up being $67 with tax. It was like $10 in tax. Crazy. So a lot more money than I was really planning on spending for an RV park. I mean, I guess I've gotten kind of spoiled with Thousand Trails and RPI and that. I originally planned on stopping at a different RV park, and it ends up, it's only like 4 miles away from here, so doggone it. It was a Passport America and would have been like $22 plus tax. But I didn't call ahead, so, and you have to call ahead is the park requirement in order to get that discount. So we ended up just pulling off into this park here. So it costs a lot more, but I think next time we'll plan a little ahead. I should have stopped at a rest area like 100 miles out, called ahead, made a reservation, and then shown up there, and that would have worked out. But oh well. So weather looks like it's going to still be okay. We're quite overcast right at the moment here. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us. I've checked ahead. The weather forecast for Rapid City, South Dakota looks good in the 70s during the day, 40s, 50s at night. So we're trying to get up there relatively quickly because, like I said, South Dakota, you just never know. So like I said, we're going to be going down I-24 heading off to Missouri. So I'll catch you when we get to Babler State Park. All right, so we finally made it to Babler Memorial Park here in Missouri, about an hour south west of St. Louis. So we got here. It's a beautiful park, nice big sites. So we got a 50 amp site, but it's electric only. Water we had to fill up at that spigot over there. So we've been here before. Nice park, we like it. It's a nice big sites. This is our site. We've been cleaning out the camper, so have stuff out, but really nice. So it costs $21 and change for seniors a night, and if you're not a senior, then it was $25 plus tax a night, which is not bad by today's standards. But when we got here and I went to unhitch, this is what happened. So you go to drop off the jacks, and I got an error. Now I did fix it, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Oh, let me hit this off. So the left front jack wasn't working at all, and that was the problem. So I had to fix it before I could get the trailer unmounted from the truck, unhitched. So that was not a lot of fun, and I'll get down into how I did it. This is what I'm getting, and an error on the left front jack. It will not extend at all. The other jacks do, but that left front one won't move at all. And it says press and hold retract to bring all the jacks up, thinking that would clear it, and that doesn't. So what I found, when we had, let me shut that off. We had a lot of bumps, and I had a lot of stuff in the basement, in the front basement. This is where they mount the control circuit, in the basement. And then all the connectors plug in here. Here's the one going off to the left front jack right here. It's marked left front. I got this plug unplugged because there's the receptacle right there. It's bent out, so connection on the circuit board is probably broken. So I'm going to have to drop this down and see if I can take this apart and resolder the connector back onto the board if the board isn't broken. Definitely want to fix this because I looked up the part and it costs $617 to get a new one. So I'm kind of under the gun here to get this thing repaired. This way I can unhitch the truck and get it all working again. Now this is easy to remove. The wiring harness, the plugs are all labeled, and on the assembly here, all the stuff is labeled too. So getting it all plugged back together is not a problem. The only wires that aren't on a plug but are wired directly to the unit is the power supply, the plus and minus leads. So I had to cut those. So then I reconnected them with the twist-on wire nuts. Alrighty, so I got it out from the front basement. Have a soldering gun, some solder, because I'm anticipating having to resolder this connector back down on the board. You see how it's bent? It mounts up against the top of the basement like that, and then I had a bunch of stuff in that front basement. Well, we hit some really bumpy roads driving up through Tennessee and Kentucky, and some things went flying up in the air and hit this connector and bent it over. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but looks like it broke some solder joints down there. So what I'm going to try and do, I need to get at it from the other side of the board. So there's screws that hold the PC board. Well, let's see. So I'm going to try and remove that, and then we're just going to kind of play it by ear. So this is what's wrong with it, though. It's nice that everything is labeled. So oh, even bent the fuse over a little bit too. So as long as we didn't crack the PC board, we should be in good shape. So need a Phillips screwdriver. there's nothing on board, so yeah, I'll get the remote wire there. Alright. Alright, so you can see the connector is bent over, and as a result of being bent over, it actually ripped the landings on the printed circuit board, broke the connections to the connector. It's a double-sided board. The actual connections that go to the circuitry is on the top of the board, not the bottom. You can see the pins actually pulled out, completely out from the bottom, but the connections that are important are actually on the top of the board. So what I had to do is, because there's a coating on the board, I had to scrape the landings clean for both sides of that connector, and then I had to run a jumper wire to bridge the brakes. I straightened up the connector and then ran jumper wire, bus wire, across the brakes, and then I could run a nice heavy coating of solder across it, and that fixed it. Alright, with the jacks extended, had to hook it up to the truck in order to do the reset. So then you press and hold the retract, and it should remove, it'll bring up all the jacks, and it'll bring them up to what's called home. It's retracting all of them. So it's bringing them all into what's called the park position. This way the computer then knows the position of all the jacks, and that cleared the alarm situation. So that was the final step in fixing this whole system. Alright. Alright, so now that I got it all working, tomorrow we are leaving once again, and on our way to South Dakota. Don't have any reservations or plans or anything, so we're just going to kind of wing it from here on. So I'll keep you updated. Until then, happy camping, and bye now. Thomas says thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.